Welcome, everybody, to your own screen. This is the Portland International Film Festival, and you're joining us live for an event that should be quite interesting. Not like a lot of other events where there's a lot of pre-planned material, but this is a program completely designed to be improvised to your own screen. This is the Portland International Film Festival. Nothing personal for you. We need to work. Any word you'd like to type in the chat. Not like a lot of other events where there's a lot of pre-planned material. My name's Eric, and welcome, everybody. This is Portland International Film Festival. Nothing live, dedicated space for any word you got type in the chat. Not like a lot of other guys creating planned. My name's Eric, and before we get to the fun, welcome, everybody. We get the opportunity to make nothing live, dedicated space for any word you got type in the chat. Not like a lot of other guys creating planned. My name's Eric, and before we get to the For Madmen Only, stories of everybody, we get the opportunity to make nothing live, dedicated space for any word you got type in the chat. Not like a lot of other guys creating planned. My name's Eric, and before we get to the For Madmen Only, stories of everybody, we get the opportunity to make nothing live, dedicated space for Improv theater is actually not a lot of other guys creating planned. My name's Eric, and before we get to the For Madmen Only, stories of everybody, we get the opportunity to make nothing live, dedicated space for Improv theater is actually not a lot of other guys creating planned. My name's Eric, and before we get to the For Madmen Only, stories of everybody, short form. My name's Eric, and before we get to the For Madmen Only, short form. My name's Eric, and before we get to the For Madmen Only, short form. My name's Eric, there we go. My guess is everything I just said was repeated all the time. I am so sorry for the last however many minutes that was. I'm so glad someone told me, and I'm so glad for all of you. I deeply, deeply apologize for those. In the comments, you were 100% right. It should not have sounded like a fever dream. I apologize. Oh, that's beautiful. That's because I made one very simple and basic mistake and broadcast everything to you. You should be able to hear me fine now, though. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start way back at the beginning and make everything I said half as short, just to catch everyone up, and we can get to the needy, greedy meat deliciousness here in just a moment. My name's Eric. Welcome to the Portland International Film Festival. So sorry for the first whatever minutes of that was. It's improv. It's all made up. And it's a virtual theater, so it's your screen, your sound, and I'm so incredibly sorry. And I love that I get to apologize to you live as it happens. It's one of my favorite parts of live theater right now. What we're planning on doing tonight is a little step into improvised theater, what it is. There's a fantastic film that we're partnering with for this special event. And then we're just going to play. We're going to do a live improvised show for you here on your screen with some magnificent performers from Portland. Here's the nitty gritty of all the stuff I said in that horrible audio base. Thing number one, we are going to need your help. If you get an opportunity in the chat, please type in a word, any word you want. It's going to be used to inspire our performers later on. So any word you think would be great to say out loud on screen and be used. I'm not calling this a family-friendly show. Feel free to write whatever you think would be great to inspire our performers in a little bit. Secondly, this is an improv show, which means it's all made up. Everything's made up. In fact, let's demonstrate that real quick. If I could get all the performers to just turn their audio on, they're going to help me out here. And if you want to play at home, you're more than welcome to play this as well. If you get an opportunity to talk to anyone who's ever done improv, or you go to a class, or you read a book on it, there's a pretty good chance you're going to see the language of yes and. And that association with yes and is a way to make a thing happen, make some progress and stuff. And we're going to demonstrate that here real quick in this game. So, my lovely performers, we're going to play a game together, and all you have to do is say the word yes. Do you understand how to play the game?
Yes.
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 Fantastic. Great. And you at home, you can do the exact same thing. So, here we go. Do you want to tell a story with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. How about a story about a knight who leaves the village on an amazing quest?
Yes.
Yes.
And this knight goes off to battle and do an epic 3D special effects, just battling with a dragon, a huge dragon.
Yes.
And to top it off, they win.
Yes. Yes.
And they happen to fall in love with somebody.
Yes.
Yes.
Aw, yeah.
Great. Good, wonderful, great. So that's the first part of improv there, and let's do it again. The difference is now all you can say, everybody, is the word no. So here we go. Would you like to tell a story with me?
No.
No.
And I've got nothing. I can't go anywhere. Thank you so much, performers. You can remute yourself. And that's the reality of improv. The concept of yes isn't to say yes to everything. It's 2021. You can't say yes to everything. But it's the key thing there is that we're going somewhere together. If you say no, I can't do anything. I can't go anywhere. I can't extend my story out further. If you say yes, then we get to do it together. And if you say and, then you get to add on to it. And then I'm not doing all the work in making this story, but you are too. And that's my basic desire of improv, that it's something that we make together and we make each other look good. Now, Del Close is a magnificent father of what would be considered modern improv. And improvisational theater has been around forever. It's one of the oldest, longest traditions of improv, or theater out there in the world. Modern improv has changed quite a bit. And what you see nowadays is the short form improv, things made famous like shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway, where you see games and short form, quick little bits, something fun, something silly, maybe it's physical, maybe it's not, and we're done. There's medium format improv, which was actually originated in the Pacific Northwest, so they say. Maybe even here in Portland, hint hint. And it's a little longer, right? We're taking not just a quick little game, but we're making a scene, making a little lovely little bubble of improv. But when it's done and we're finished. Now, long form improv is one that's been around for the longest, and it is the storytelling, the narrative. We're talking about mini plays or long plays, musicals, long pieces of art, everything created on the spot and completely made up. This is what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do one of these narrative long forms this evening. So once again, if you get an opportunity, write a word into the chat so we can get a little inspiration to just prove that we're not following any specific rules. One of the main fathers of modern improv is Don. Wow.
Don Cheadle.
Don Draper. Del Close. Del Close was an amazing guy in a very unique fashion. And there is a film that we're partnering with the Portland International Film Festival. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. If you have seen it, you can watch it again if you bought your ticket. It is For Madmen Only, and it's a look at Del's life from his perspective directly, as well as some of the people that had amazing opportunities to work with him. Famous people that you have definitely seen on screen. You get some amazing improvisers. And what's great about their take on his experience is because he was not only a creator and an educator, but he put himself into it. He's very famous in saying the fact that he made other people famous without ever making himself famous, though he had his own moments. So there's moments like that that are really delightful to see in that film. One of the things that we wanted to talk about briefly is the thing that he created that helps modern narrative improv, which is a thing called the Herald. It's rumored about 1967. He and his team at the time do a show. On the way home, they say, "What do we call it?" And they come up with the name, The Herald. So there's no true significance. In fact, they kind of joke about it. And as we all know, you joke about something or make fun of it or say it sarcastically, especially with enough emphasis or confidence, and then lo and behold, you have a new nickname. So things can set really easily. And The Herald itself doesn't have a huge amount of significance as to why it's called The Herald. But the important part is to what the Herald is. And it's a narrative basic structure to help improvisers create content from the beginning, middle, and end. And the hard part about us as improvisers and performers is that we're all making it up. If I'm making it up by myself, it's easy. I don't have to fight with anybody. If I'm making it up with you, it's still not too bad, but we have two separate brains. And the more people we get involved, the harder that sort of synchronicity becomes. So the Herald's a really great way to help frame or keep a sort of spine or strip along the storyline structure. Now his Herald is pretty standard and basic out there. And I made this fun little demonstration, this little physical activity that may help it a little bit. And the Herald, the way it's designed, and you can see some magnificent graphics out there that people have created, because it's one of the things you can find in a lot of improv theaters throughout the planet. The Herald starts off at the very beginning. This part right here would be the opening. It could be a simple game, or it could be whatever they're pulling out from the audience. And we're going to kind of do this tonight. We're going to get some inspiration from you, our lovely audience, and we'll create something as a group to get us going. From there, traditionally, and we have, this is one that I made for 6 actors, so each string represents a different actor. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 separate scenes. And that's how we'd start the show. We start scene off, we get scene 1, scene 2, and scene 3. Nice, easy, straightforward, and we start our storytelling. Now in the Herald, all these scenes are broken up. They have another game. And these are group games. Usually the entire cast could play. They could be considered games that are sort of an intermission break from the scene work and just silly and maybe a way to create more ideas. Some improvisers will say that this game stuff is a way to help start connecting your characters more. There's lots of ways that they can be interpreted. But the fun part is, as we move on, scene number 2 starts getting a little more complicated. Actors can start flipping between different scenes. We can see character from group 1 into scene 2. We get to see them with another partner. We get to see them go on a journey. What I'm not showing here is the fact that you could have more performers and these characters could change, and we could have even extra strings start to add on here. What's great is that as this story progresses, we get to a final finale where things start to get a little more jumbled. And they don't need to stay this simple, right? They can be spinning around and mixing in every way, shape, and form. The best part here is at the end, there's usually a group game as well. Something that helps bring everybody back together to find a nice, solid finale, a way to end the scene. This works really well, especially when you've got an improv scene or a show that's going to be an hour and a half long. You've got some form of structure to go with. Tonight, we're not going to necessarily follow that structure. Since this was created, improv has drastically changed. In the past 20 years alone, improv has had a huge boost all over the planet. We're looking at people who do it in their bars and classrooms and homes, and now especially in homes. We see improv in the short form concept. We see it in office buildings and corporate training centers. We see it all over the planet. Portland itself has become a huge hub of improv, which I may have said earlier, but I definitely said during that jumbled audio issue. So the reality is that we have a huge change in improv. So tonight, instead of us following the Herald specifically, we're going to start off to honor Dell with that little bit of open scene work at the very beginning, and then we're going to let it go. We're going to see whatever happens, happens. Tonight, we have a lot of really great performers. One of the great things about Portland is it has become a huge hub of improv. At one point, just a few years back, we had 9 dedicated improvisational theater spaces, which is a lot. Tonight we have a representative from a majority of the places you can find here in Portland, and a majority of them are still running constant shows now on the virtual stage. So though we're not in person again yet, you can still see a lot of them, and we'll get to that. Also, at the end of this, We're going to do a little talk back and chat with each other. And if you've got questions and comments, we'd love to hear them as well. So first off, I hope if you get a chance, please put your name, or not your name, just any word you'd like to inspire some of our performers in the chat. And I want to introduce our performers as well. So let's just bring them all out, make it nice and easy. And I'll step aside and let them introduce each other.
Each other or ourselves?
I'll let you introduce yourself. Let's start with you. This is Aden. Go ahead, Aden. Who are you?
I'm Aden. I'm also with Infinite Improv. That's all. I think that's all I need to say about me.
Totally.
Also, you've seen my hair just peeking in from the corner of the screen since this thing started. So now you have a face to go with the hair.
I'll go. Oh, sorry. I'll go. I'm Kristen. I'm with Curious Comedy. We're all going to jump in here. I apologize for talking over everybody. It's really great to be here. Thanks, Eric and Aden. And I'll pass it to Betsy.
Hi, I'm Betsy with Comedy Sports.
Hey, I'm Dylan with Kickstand Comedy, and I will pass to Landy.
Hi there. I'm Landy. I'm from the Funhouse Lounge. I'll kick it over to Bo.
Hello, everybody. Thrilled to be here. Bo with Bridge City Improv, and I will kick it to Leanne.
Thank you, Bo. Hi, Leanne Johnson, representing Deep End Theater, and I will kick it, I believe, to Patrick.
All right.
Oh yeah, Patrick's audio might be a little tricky. One of the best things about Patrick right now is he's representing Comedy Sports Portland, but most importantly, he's also going to be performing musically tonight. One of the cool things we get to do virtually, and some of us perform a lot of musical shows, we get to do this live with a live musician tonight. So everything you hear, including the music, will be made up on the spot, and Patrick will be taking care of that on his end. So that should be one extra fun step to give a little underscoring mood. Great, fantastic. Well, we have some wonderful suggestions of words to inspire our lovely performance tonight. I hope you're all ready. So here's the deal. To not put any bias on it, I'm going to let you. I'm going to go down the list of words, and I have a couple extra in case we don't have enough words in the chat. So I'm not assigning. I'm going to let you request a word, and then I'll give you the word right down the list. That way, there's no cheating whatsoever. How's that?
Sure. Cheating in improv?
Yeah, cheating in improv.
No, there's no cheating allowed in improv.
Yeah. No cheating.
There's one thing.
Trust us. Trust us. We are making all of this up. Yeah.
Totally. All right. Who wants their first word?
I would love to have the first word.
I give it to you, Landy.
But Landy said I want to have the first word. Landy, you get the word barbecue to inspire your scene.
Love it.
Who would like the next?
I want
Betsy.
one.
All right. Aden, you're going to get spyglass. Betsy, you're going to get styrofoam.
Styrofoam, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go with Dylan. Who wants it? I guess I'm starting to counter him yet. Dylan, you've got fever dream.
Ooh, love it.
Who else? Who hasn't gone yet? Who's not given? Okay. Leanne, you get violent.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Kristen,
Yeah.
you get impartial.
Okay.
And Bo, did you get one?
No.
Okay, then Bo, you get oceanic.
So many words.
Awesome. So these words are going to inspire all the delightful scene work. We're going to start off with a little bit of fun monologuing, and then anything happens. We'll see what happens. Enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to chat all you want in the YouTube chat. We'd love to see it and hear about it. And if you've got questions about anything that happens in the show, ask them, because we're going to talk about it afterward.
I have a question. What's a spyglass?
Spyglass would be the... Yeah. Okay.
Telescope?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm good.
Never hurts to ask. Thank you so much for joining us. My happy humans, enjoy an improvised show.
I've always loved hosting events, but an event I've never been able to really put my finger on is a barbecue. maybe it's that I'm not very into the outdoors, or maybe it's the food itself that doesn't speak to me, but I just can't get my head wrapped around a barbecue. Like I said, I love events though.
When I was in 7th grade, I dated 2 boys at the same time, Kevin and Andrew. And I really liked kissing Andrew, but Kevin was in 8th grade. So they both had great qualities about them. I didn't realize at the time that I was cheating. And so it was just hard to decide between the 2 of them.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. So reduce, reuse, recycle. That is my husband's motto, and I have lived by it even though I didn't feel comfortable with it. But I've learned so much. Like, he is a person who washes out the Ziploc bags. We have Ziploc bags that are probably about 10 years old at this point, because he very diligently washes them.
So it's probably 1987, and I get my first set of binoculars. And the first thing I do is run to the window and hold them up to see what I can see. And what I could see was into the neighbor's house, where they were just talking, just sitting around the dinner table. They weren't doing anything particularly exciting to watch, but I can't really describe the elation that I felt at that feeling of being able to essentially see through walls. Not exactly, it was more like see through distance, but it felt like.
I don't do a lot of edibles, but I had 2 roommates move out that had a plastic bag with a cookie in it that said "do not eat." And I just assumed it was like, hey, this is my property. Please don't eat this because I would like to enjoy it. But they'd been gone for about 6 months. So I had a little bit and nothing. Had a little bit more.
The name is Randy Brickhart. I live in the Virgin Islands, and I run a small shipping vessel that gives tours around the islands. I've been here since I've divorced my wife. It's a fun life. It's lonely. You meet people, but it's also very lonely, living on the ocean.
So hearkening back to life in the 80s, when there was the zero tolerance did not exist, and lucky for me, I was working at the Columbian newspaper, and the woman in customer service, the woman next to me said something kind of snarky. I, rather than turning to her and addressing it, I had a pencil in my hand and I threw it across the room. Come to find out, in this day and age, that would be considered violence in the workplace. So lucky for me, I now have my anger management.
So when I saw that this friend of mine had a telescope pointed at their neighbor's house,
control.
That's the newest thing.
Another bite.
So now we,
because I knew exactly how that feels.
Found a place.
There's so many different
But to finally see what's happening behind somebody else's wall.
Life is about reduce, recycle, including styrofoam.
Into the barbecue sauce world.
I feel I'm helping
the barbecue
world.
But again, lonely.
Hey, this is pretty good potato salad. You should be proud of yourself.
It's my grandmother's recipe. I worked really hard on it. I hope you also enjoy the filet mignon, and I also got the Beyond Burgers that is good here. And I just didn't know what to do, so I made lots of food.
Sarah, calm down. Calm down. My parents are gonna love you, okay?
Okay.
They're gonna love you.
Honey, I want to make sure, and I want to make sure that I've covered all of the bases, the vegan, the not vegan, all of it, and so that they understand that I'm a whole person.
Babe, the only thing you got to worry about is that I eat all this food before they come. This is really good.
It's okay, honey. I made enough for, a week at least. So the refrigerator's full and the freezer is full, and I got extra potato salad. It has eggs in it and no eggs in it. It has all the things.
Babe, look. I just want you to be aware that my mom, she can be she can be real critical about food. Okay, she grew up cooking in a restaurant with her Greek dad, and so she has a lot of particular ideas. But I don't want you to be nervous. Okay, it's just my last wife, when she didn't. Well, when she didn't make my mom's mince pie right, my mom wrote to the paper and started to sabotage, cut the brake lines.
Kevin!
What?
Now you're telling me this? Your parents are going to be here soon, and I didn't make a mince pie at all. I didn't even make a mince pie. I'm going to have to make a mince pie now.
Hey, boss. Is this an okay time? Do you have a second?
It's always an okay time. It is always, just one of these situations where you all can, anytime you want to, just enter my door when it's closed and locked. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Oh, okay. The way you said that, maybe it sounds like it's an imposition, so I can come back another time.
Oh. David, come on in. I'm sorry. I've just had a bit of a stressful day.
Yeah.
And I tend to lash out, and I didn't mean to lash out at you. I please accept my apology, David. You're one of my best people, and
thanks.
Forgive me.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. What can I do for you?
So the printer is jammed again, and I know there's some other people I could talk to, but your office is the closest. So I just wanted to come over and see, could you help me?
So, just this one time I will, all right?
Oh, wow. Thank you.
It's a bit below my pay grade and really quite demeaning. If you really think about it, David. Think through your question.
Hey, boss. Is this okay time? Oh, hey, Mark. Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Is that your tuna fish sandwich in the fridge?
Yeah, I was just walking by the office and I wanted the boss. I just wanted to tell you that the bathroom door doesn't close all the way. And I know I was just on my way. I thought I'd tell you. I thought I'd put that on your plate. So I'm going to keep getting back to work, and I just want to put that on your plate.
Thank you so much, Carrie. I was going to bring up the bathroom thing, but so printer and bathroom.
All right. So I would say this is the perfect time for someone to make a really ridiculous joke about the door being ajar.
For just a little workplace humor?
Yeah. I could use the levity right now because.
Hey, boss. Hey, boss. I just want to let you know. Hey, guys, it's good to see you. I want to let you know that we're out of paper. And so somebody needs to go to. I think you need to go to Office Depot and just gotta get some paper.
Betsy, actually, the printer's jammed, so our boss has to fix that jam before we can get more paper in.
Oh, fair. Okay, well, I'll just continue on my reports. Thanks for taking care of that, boss. I really appreciate you.
Betsy is just on it. She is on it. She can just see what needs done doing.
All right. Paper. I've made a list, and I am working very diligently to contain. I had a meeting with HR yesterday to contain that which is welling up inside of me. Typically, it's a lash out at the person closest to me.
Oh.
Just be warned, which is why I have the door shut. Okay, it's why I have the door shut, Dave.
Okay,
right.
I totally get it. I'm so sorry. I've overstepped, and I just didn't think about what I was coming to you with. Totally understand. I really apologize.
Come aboard, everybody. Don't be shy. We'll get this vessel out throughout the Virgin Islands in a moment. Please step aboard.
This is so exciting.
Yeah, first time in the Virgin Islands?
Yes, but I'm no virgin.
Oh, Judy, you're so bad.
Are you two together?
Barbara.
You two vacationing together?
Yeah, we are, but I'm not as brave as Judy.
That's all right.
I've never been on a trip like this before. I've seen a lot of really exotic things on television. I watch all the time, but to go, Judy, you have got me going out on a limb.
Well, today you'll be sailing the Mighty Woman. It's a great vessel. We're going to see some beautiful sights today. But you're going to be part of it.
And Barbara, you're a mighty woman too, okay? You're a mighty woman who can go on a boat and go to a different place and meet some man.
Well, there are plenty of men on the Virgin Islands.
Are they, is what they think, is what I made up in my head about that true, and that they're all virgin men? Because I don't know if I'm prepared to deal with that.
Well, most of them are. And we're going to be meeting some of them when we hit some of the certain docks that we land on this afternoon.
We're going to hit the men?
Come again?
You said we're going to hit some of them? Like...
We'll be hitting some of the locations, the docks, where we'll be visiting this afternoon.
Judy, sidebar.
Okay. Excuse us, yeah.
I thought we were going to eat some barbecue pork. We were going to take in some coconut juice and the sun. I didn't know we'd be hitting virgin men. I feel very... what's the word I'm looking for?
Did I not make that? I didn't make it clear that we were collecting cards. What collecting cards meant for this trip?
No, I made an assumption, and that's on me. I made an assumption that collecting cards was about buying postcards in gift shops. So that's what I assumed.
Oh no! It's about virginity cards, and we're gonna collect them from all of these men. This is what I do.
Well, I'm back from the front of the ship. We're about to get off. We're just waiting for one more couple that signed up for the trip, but we'll be heading off shortly.
I just want to make it clear we're not a couple, though.
All right, buddy. Hey, it's your day. All right, buddy. Are you listening to what old Dad's saying?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm
so
excited.
today's the day that the boat here docks to the Virgin Islands, and they're gonna take your V card. If you'll have them.
If I have. Okay,
yeah, you'll have your pick of the litter from the boat. So whoever tickles your fancy.
I got any
Hey,
choice
Greg.
at all?
Hey, Greg. Hey, Mr. Stevens. So sorry to interrupt.
Big day.
Hey.
Big day.
This is gonna be so cool.
Now
I got my card. I got my card, and I'm ready for it to be taken. Dad, ready for it to be taken.
Great. And remember, there's only one time you get to give away that card. So if you have any questions you want to ask your old man, I was nervous my first time.
Mr. Stevens, I don't mean to interrupt, but I don't have a strong male role model at home. Could I also ask questions of you about doing that sort of thing?
Greg, get in here. Come on. All right?
Come on, Greg.
Get in here. Let's talk V
cards.
cards.
Best friend.
Hey, of course I'm your best friend. I have the exact same name as you. How could I not be your best friend?
It was destiny.
Yeah.
I like to think that I had a little something to do with how you were named Greg.
Oh?
Yeah. They saw my Greg, and they said, that's a great name. Your parents.
Huh.
Oh.
Wow.
And
is that
they had
how it
just
works?
met off the boat when you were conceived.
Excuse me, do you mind if I ask a question too?
Of course, Greg.
Okay. Well, what if I'm in love and I'm very emotionally attached to somebody, but I'm not ready for physical interaction?
Oh, that's a great question. So are we talking about someone on the cruise boat?
What if that person was someone named Greg?
I mean, chances are there's a high probability that who you're talking about is named Greg.
I think I've only ever met Gregs in my life.
This is a township of Gregs. A lot of the kids in this town are named Greg.
Hey, I want to say it's because of you, Dad.
Because of you, Mr. Stevenson.
Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to know you're listening to your old man.
Dad, I got a question. Ooh, go ahead. Did your question get answered? No. Okay.
Not really.
No. Well, I wanted your question to be answered. It's real important, Greg.
This is good communication, and that's what you're gonna need on that boat. Believe me. All right.
Okay, Judy, I'm going in. I see a gaggle of men. I'm gonna go find me a card.
Greg's, it's happening. It's happening, Greg's.
It's happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa! Excuse me.
Hello. Welcome to our island.
Hi, my name, oh my, is Barbara, and how am I doing, Judy?
I'm Greg.
Hey, Greg. Slow it down, buddy.
Oh.
Be chill.
Yes, sir,
you know?
Mr.
Like,
Stevenson.
there's lots of people on this boat, so get to know each other.
Yes, Mr. Stevenson.
Yeah.
So, do you have any hobbies?
Yeah. Lots of hobbies. One of them is going from one end of the island to the other as fast as I can.
Judy, what do I do next?
Just ask him about his pants.
You got this, Greg. You got this.
Yeah.
We believe in you, Greg.
Yeah.
Greg, is it? Is
Yeah.
that a banana in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh, it's both. I'm happy to see you, and it's a banana.
Judy, what do I do?
Judy doesn't need to be here to help you. My name's Greg, and I can help. And if I can't help, well, I've got my friends Greg and Greg. And there's a Greg way over there.
Hi there. Dad, I don't think I could do this. I'm not ready. No, I'm not.
Okay. It's okay. You know, there's plenty of time. These cruise ships come by a lot. So you will find someone that meshes.
Mr. Stevenson,
Yeah, Greg.
could I ask, how did you meet your Judy?
Well, it was a Carnival
Oh, that
cruise.
sounds like a nice story.
Yeah, Carnival Cruise, 1987. They came through right here in the Virgin Islands, and this was when we were new to the concept of V cards. We used to call it by its full name, virginity documents.
Cut to that moment where they met.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Hi. Sorry,
Hey.
I'm sure I have my paperwork here somewhere. I'm a little nervous.
Where's your document, hon?
Here you go. You can see, I think my papers are all in order there.
Oh, yeah, check it out. This is great.
Yeah. Wow.
You want to get groovy or freaky or what?
I'd love to. I'm actually getting into breakdancing a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. It's 1987, and I feel like I might just do a little one of these.
Oh, yeah, I love dancing to the breaks. It's so cool. Hey, anyway, look, this is rad and all, but I really want to deal with this document, if you know what I'm saying. I don't have a lot of time, so.
Yeah, wow. Do I ever? Yeah, I guess like triplicates then? I can sign it and number each page?
Sure. No need to sign. We'll just honor, your initials, if you know what I mean.
I'm new to this. I think so. So you're saying just make sure that I have my own copies of the documents as well, just for my record keeping?
Hey, too much talking. Let's get to making out, huh?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I would love to. I just want to do this by the book.
Yeah, I want you to be comfortable and all, and we should check in with each other to make sure that everything we do is perfectly consensual and mutual, Mutual, I'm sure.
Was it Juliana?
Yes. What's it? Greg?
Yeah, Greg. I'm the only Greg I know. It's weird.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, this just seems like serendipity, even though this boat came here specifically for us to meet.
Yeah, I love getting on boats, and I love getting on boats. You know what I mean?
That's some good wordplay. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be my first time, as you know. So I hope, fingers crossed.
Oh, no, it'll definitely be your first time.
So today our lesson is going to be the intersection between abstinence and environmentalism. All right? There is indeed an intersection. It's an intersection that occurs when a man and a woman have utilized a condom and have nothing else left. Any questions? Excuse me, have I said it all? Apparently I've been so impressive and have answered all your questions that there's nothing left. How about... So perhaps I can provide a prompt, a case study, a scenario maybe. So you have a condom, all right? And you have used it once. To use it once and put it in the landfill. Can you imagine the atrocity? What would you do?
Okay, now I have a question.
All right.
Okay.
What is it?
What if we don't use a condom?
Oh. Well, this is where, indeed, where abstinence comes in, all right? I might have conflated a couple of different sexually related topics here. So this is where abstinence comes in and relates to environmentalism, you see, right? You understand, right?
Oh, okay. Now
okay.
I get it.
So you're saying no condoms when you're not having sex, but what about condoms when you are having sex?
That is the perfect time to not use one. That's simply my philosophy. Once again, conflation is also the name of my game. Right?
And there are 5 more weeks to this course?
I know. I know it's not enough. It's not enough. I understand how engaging I am and how engaging this class has been. And if you'd like, I can add 2 more. 2 more.
Yeah,
2 more.
I would. A lot of help.
I would sign up for 2 more classes, easy. Yeah.
Glenn. Glenn.
Yeah.
Okay. So I cleaned up around your place. I cleaned it.
Mom, I don't want you to be too harsh on my wife, okay? She's made all this food, okay?
I understand. Okay. So super important. I saw she made some candies and they smelled funny, but they tasted really good.
Oh, Mom, that's awesome. You should tell her, she's really worried. She tried to make all this food for you, And I told her you weren't going to do any of the weird stuff.
No, yeah. I'm not. Why would she think that? I think she's as cute as a button. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm going to tell her. I'm going to go right over to... I'm going to go right in the kitchen and tell her.
All right, just don't say anything threatening, okay? Nothing threatening.
You.
I love you.
I love
All right, just don't threaten her, Mom. Just don't threaten her.
I'm not going to.
Hey, boss. Boss. Hey, boss. Hey.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry, I know that this is your vacation, and I probably shouldn't even come here to Hawaii, but we have a paper jam, and I just needed to get your eyes on it. So do you mind if I just put you through, I can just Skype you in?
Go ahead.
Okay, wow.
I'm aiming to, once again, to please. That's what HR said, you must please.
I'm so sorry. I don't want to impose, like I said. I just know that, this seemed like a simpler solution than for me to do it myself. And you're a knowledgeable person.
All right. Put me on.
Okay. The rest of the office might have some additional questions for you. I know we've been, trying to respect your vacation, but here they are.
Hey, boss. Boss, we were really kind of hoping you could help us out. We seem to be missing a couple of paper clips. And I looked everywhere. I looked everywhere. I can't find them.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Kristen.
Did you? I hadn't. Did she check her ass?
Whoa.
Boss, we don't mean to be rude or nothing, but we got a question for you.
What is it?
Oh, it's real simple. You know, I wrote my name on a piece of paper and pencil, but I misspelled my name by accident. I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, you settled this debate for us, because I've been saying just erase it and do it again.
I'm saying destroy the document and reprint new ones.
But the most important thing is we don't want to do anything without your say-so, because
you're the boss.
Great question, guys. That was awesome. What do you think?
I have an answer. Did you stick it up your ass?
Oh! We're taking on water. We gotta fill this hole or we're gonna sink to the bottom. I'll get the ropes. You, grab that salt bag. We're
I've never been on a boat before.
Judy!
I didn't know there was a storm coming.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Just don't worry about it. It's just.
Oh God, there's so much water on the boat. Oddly, there's no water on an island.
And here I thought I was going to collect my V, and we were going to get married, and live happily ever after, and then instead we're going to drown on this boat. But Judy, don't think I blame you.
I don't care how much sex you had on that island. We need stamina right now. Stamina! Or we're going to go down. Can't you see the storm?
Oh, it's a huge thing right over there.
Yeah, but don't worry. I don't blame you.
I don't feel blamed. I know you're having the time of your life. Nothing is sexier than a little life danger.
It's
Help
true.
me with the rope.
Oh.
I hope you had some good sex. Because it might be your last.
I mean, it was the first one I've ever had, so...
Me too!
Honey, that was fabulous. That was so amazing. You really are a natural at this, you know.
Thank you. I just don't know what happened. I just was like, okay, sign here, sign there, and all of a sudden you're screaming.
Oh yeah, we sure signed off on everything, didn't we? Hey, look, I have to disappear for a while. I hope you understand. Me and Olivia Newton-John are gonna go to Thailand, I guess.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm new to relationships. Does this usually happen that after the first time the person leaves you?
Oh, sweetheart, no. Oh, look, I love you more than anything in the world, and the sex was fabulous. It was really fabulous. But
it was.
You know, I just think our paths are going different ways. You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly what to do in this situation. I've never really had the opportunity to have my heart broken.
Oh, am I breaking your heart, sweetie? Oh, I don't want to break your heart. It's just life, you know. We keep moving forward, right?
I mean, an opportunity to go to Thailand with Olivia Newton-John is kind of something you can't pass up.
Look, we're going to study the intersection of environmentalism and physical romance, you know?
Wow. I mean, that sounds very akin to true Xanadu, if you ask me.
Yeah, she's super into it, and so am I, and so I just got to follow where that goes. But you know what? You're going to make an amazing father someday because I'm pregnant.
What?
I shouldn't be smoking.
No, you shouldn't be smoking. But you just rocked back and forth a little bit after we had sex, and that you know?
Oh, yes. Oh, I know.
Wow.
I think I'm going to call the baby George.
Oh, okay. Let me just throw this out here. You're the mother. What you say goes. But I was kind of hoping to name the kid after me. I've never met another Greg.
Oh, right. Greg, that's what I meant. Oh, crazy me.
That's my name. I'm Greg.
Oh, right, of course.
Thank you,
It's a boy.
Oh, wow. I guess I will raise you to be my son, Greg. You're beautiful.
Awesome.
Oh, Juliana, you're back.
I just wanted to see the baby, and now I'm off again.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all coming. We're having the food. My mother-in-law is here, and she has accepted me. So thank you all. She's in the back. She ate all my edibles, and so she's having a good time. So everybody can feel free to indulge on any of the food. As I mentioned before, I have little sides, filet mignon over here. I have the Beyond Beef over here. I have brisket over here. You can just partake in it, please. Please do, Greg's and everybody.
This is the best party I've ever been to.
Y'all have really outdone yourself. I have had more food in my belly today than I think
don't
I've
know where my
had.
husband is. I don't know where he went. But I maybe get my mother-in-law. I'm gonna go get her because she is just having such a good time. I'll be back, y'all.
I'd love to meet her. I don't know what she put in that potato salad. Oh.
Didn't my wife just do a great job with this food?
Hey, boss, I'm so sorry to interrupt your cruise, but we have some questions from the office. Go for it, guys.
Hey, how do I turn on my computer?
There's a tiger in the bathroom.
What address do I put at the top of the envelope?
Number
and what
2.
the middle of the envelope.
Number 1 pencil. Number 17 pencil.
Somebody cooked some fish in the microwave. Can you clean that out, boss?
I was heading to the Virgin Islands this time with my card. This is why I've been so uptight. Can you people please just give me some space?
I think I'm hearing you loud and clear. So what you're saying is come back after you've taken the V card, and then we can ask you our questions because you'll be in a better mood.
And so from that day on, I kind of had this realization that being able to see through that window to other people's worlds was maybe not a healthy choice. So I never did end up getting a telescope for myself. And I don't even have binoculars anymore.
The most important thing and part of a barbecue really is the people that gather. You don't have to stress out about what kind of sauce you're using or who's coming to be there. Just anybody who's there is the right people to be there.
Having learned everything I can about recycling, I am so honored to be married to the husband that I have because I think we're going to make a better world.
Kevin. Definitely Kevin.
Well, the ship went down and I was the only survivor. The people that were on the voyage were so oversexed, they didn't have the stamina to stay afloat.
And so I may not have gotten to watch the movie Soul that night because I was sick all for a full 24 hours on my bathroom floor. But I did end up watching the movie later, and it was a visual delight. It was also a great movie. So if you haven't seen Soul, I would recommend doing it, but maybe don't take an edible.
Was as if it were divine intervention that my violence of the 80s turned into my pacifism of the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. That lesson for me was probably the most salient one of my life. So I throw pencils no longer.
And that's the end of the show.
Yay! Oh, fantastic! Yeah, why not? Yay! We can all make noise because we can. A fully improvised show. How utterly delightful. Because we can. We're back in gallery view. Why don't we just get everyone to turn your camera on, and take a nice, lovely little theatrical bow since you can at this point. But we are not done. We still have a bit more time, and we would love to do a bit of chat back with you. But before then, I'd love to just make sure, once again, everyone gets to throw their name out, what theater they are representing, and let's maybe also add something maybe coming up in the next month. Where they can see you on screen in another location. And while everyone's doing that, if you get an opportunity, if you got questions or comments or thoughts about improv or anything, we're going to address them. I got some great questions lined up. But if you've got some, put them in the chat now. Otherwise, let's just start. We've got Kristen's right here next to us on the screen. So, Kristen, why don't you go first?
Thanks. I'm Kristen. I am representing Curious Comedy Theater. Curious has classes online if you're interested in taking improv. We have actually free classes coming up, totally free, March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So check that out. And you can see me online with the Improv College in a show coming up on the 19th called The Backdrop, where we are inspired by the backdrops that we play in virtually. So check that out on the 19th. And I will pass it to Dylan.
Hey, that was super fun. I'm Dylan Reef. I'm representing Kickstand Comedy. We have online classes and shows as well. Stand-up, improv, and sketch. You can check that out at our website. And our Twitch channel and Facebook Live is where you can see our shows right now, all online. So that's twitch.tv/kickstandcomedy. Yeah, you can see me coming up on the Aardvark Hour, which we do on Friday or Saturday nights at 7:30. And it's a collaboration with X-Ray FM, and it's rebroadcast Friday mornings at drive time, 8:30. I'll pass it over to Bo.
Thank you, Dylan. Thanks all. Once again, Bo Brousseau, Bridge City Improv. We are not a brick and mortar theater, but we produce shows throughout theaters in the Portland metro area. But you can find out more information about who we are, what we do, bridgecityimprov.com, or look at Bridge City Improv on Facebook. Thanks again, everybody. I'll pass it to Patrick. Oh, he's muted.
No.
I'm going to pass it to Landy.
Hello again. My name is Landy Lamb. I'm representing the Funhouse Lounge. You can check out funhouselounge.com to see more about the fun stuff we do, improv and scripted shows wise. But I got nothing on the calendar, so you can see me right now. And then that's it. And I'll pass it over to Leanne.
Yes, thank you, Landy. Leanne Johnson, again, representing Deep End Theater. And because we're in virtual world, we have the opportunity to do some interacting globally. So our next big gig will be a partnership with the look at this, the Paper Street Theater Company out of someplace in Canada. And we're going to be doing some shows for Mother's Day. Details to be determined. And I will pass it. Betsy, have you gone yet?
Not yet.
Okay, pass it to Betsy.
Hello, I'm Betsy Green, representing Comedy Sports. You can see Comedy Sports every Saturday night. So I'll share that with Pat. I'm in it quite often, and but tune in for that. I'm also performing with Badass Effervescent Dames at the Intercity Improv Festival on March 22nd. And then you can also see me with Aden and Eric and my husband, Bill, in Babe on April 2nd. That's every first Friday of the month. We perform our musical improv inspired by I Love Lucy called I Love Musicals.
Fantastic. Aiden, you want to?
Oh, yeah. I'm Aden. That's Eric. We're with Infinite Improv. And we're also, as Betsy mentioned, part of Babe Improv. Mm-hmm. So that's where you get to see us playing improv online is first Friday of every month doing I Love Musicals.
Well, and they can catch you on the Art of Change podcast.
The Changed podcast is currently between seasons, but if you're curious to listen to stories from people's real life pivotal moments, then you can tune into the Changed podcast. The entire first season is available to listen. Second season will be coming out in the next month or so, but it's not an improv show, so I don't know. It's for those people who like podcasts, philosophy, and storytelling. That's who you're gonna go check it out.
Yeah. We'll try one more time, Patrick. Let's see if you're.
Am I audible now?
Yes. Patrick,
cool. There's a whole bunch of settings involved with playing keyboards. So let's just leave it at that. Again, like Betsy, I'm with CSC Portland. You can look up everything we do at portlandcomedy.com. If you're starved for more improv, show started about 6 minutes ago, and the free link is there. offer a full slate of classes and other exciting things. At the end of tonight's match, Portland versus Austin, because Comedy Sports is located across the U.S. and Manchester, UK. On 2 upcoming shows for me. Tomorrow night I'll be music directing with Inner City Improv Jam, along with Nick Condon, who's with Curious and CSE, and that's exciting. Just Google Inner City Improv Jam. I don't have any links. And then Wednesday, at your lunch hour, 11 a.m.-ish, I'll be a referee in a Comedy Sports match with Comedy Sports UK. From
and Patrick, you don't just play the piano or other musical instruments for things. You are also a magnificent performer in the improv world as well.
Thank you. Yes, I perform. So I do lots of things, tech stuff, performance, and I've played keyboards for a long time, and the world needs that too. So.
Yeah. Well, we have all of you here, so I have some questions because improv is one of those things that is incredibly dynamic. It is different not only here in Portland between theaters. Every theater has a different sort of flair and focus, but all across the planet. And here in this group alone, we are looking at literally hundreds of years of experience if we add them all up together. So this is a great opportunity. I know not everyone can stay for the whole talk back, but we'll get through a little bit. I want to open it up. First off, lovely job in the show. I want to know, we have done these shows virtually. The question I have is, what is one thing that you find that is not only incredibly challenging, but also something that you have maybe found really delightful about performing virtually in a digital essence? And this is to anybody.
I can say the hardest part of doing virtual improv for me is the lack of direct audience feedback and immediate feedback too. I'm not going to lie, I'm doing it all for the laughs, and to not get that payoff from the audience, it makes it really difficult to find the oomph in myself to keep going, I would say. But it has been really excellent in this virtual world, being able to perform with performers that I've never had the opportunity to share a stage with. Like basically 90% of the folks on this show tonight, I haven't shared a stage with before. And we all play very different styles of improv too. And so it's been a great stretch for me personally and in my skill set to attack something new.
Yeah, Patrick.
Cool. In Comedy Sports, we have a referee because it's a sporting event, and that person is literally a director within the show. And in addition to the laughs, there's part of that position that just has a feel for what the audience is feeling. It's like like you can feel their emotions when you're in the room with them, and we don't have that online. You get some feedback in chat, but you have to be able to make some assumptions and make decisions without that very intuitive connection that you have with the audience. And I think it's going to be fascinating when we start playing live again, to have spent a year and doing, in our case, well over 100 shows, to take that skill set and put it back and have that audience feel. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think piggybacking on both Landy and Patrick, like for me, like I have really enjoyed, and this isn't just improv related, but basically it's a new art form once it's done through Zoom. It's a completely different it's not the same as stage improv, which isn't necessarily bad. It's like been very fun and cool to innovate with comedy through this screen using these tools. And so it's been cool for myself and our community at Kickstand to create new shows and new ideas and new forms that are specifically leaning into Zoom or leaning into digital performance. And I think like we found some really fun and rewarding things around that. And then also just like Patrick said too, just cross-pollinating with other teachers and performers around the country and beyond has been very, very fun and very cool. So I know that we've gotten a bunch of great voices and philosophies coming into our community that we wouldn't have had access to because those teachers would have been in the writer's room for a TV show or would have had, been a little bit busier this last year and just physically are not located near us. So access is my favorite part of online performance.
There's been some cool
Yeah,
stuff with the technology as well. You know, the ability to like quickly put on a mustache because Zoom has figured out that we're using this medium to do improv comedy shows. At least I assume that's why they put mustaches in there for us. It's the only logical explanation. And I love that instant and enthusiastic ability to like gleefully put on purple lipstick and huge eyebrows. And I wish it was that fast in the real theater. And it's equally fast, like click a button and I no longer have those things on. That being said, the physical limitations of staying within reach of the camera and being able to see and all of those things have, you know, like being on the physical stage has often felt to me like that free feeling of going downhill on a bicycle, like the wind in your hair and you feel weightless and you're flying. That's to me what stage improv feels like, and I have yet to have that feeling in the virtual space, though I am super enjoying the digital tools and the creativity, you know, as other people have pointed out.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get back on the bicycle of stage improv.
We're going to Betsy, then I've got a new question for you.
Yeah, I would piggyback on what everybody has said. One of the things that I was surprised to learn is that although I miss the audience, I don't, because it feels less pressure from that perspective. And I feel more connected to my scene partner than before. Because I have to listen very intently and, you know, all the things like that we should be doing on stage too. But I find it easier to be like, I have to be right there and I'm not waiting for the laugh. And so it has become less important. So I'm really curious to know what it's going to feel like being on stage, like almost like it'll be jarring. Like, what are you doing? Why are you laughing? But it is that transition of the new medium of like, and that's when I teach, I talk about it. You were a stage actor, but now you're a screen actor. I see it in that same way. And so being able to learn how to use the camera and look in the eyes of the camera of your scene partner. So yeah, that's what I've learned.
Awesome. Improv, as I mentioned earlier in this, it is one of the oldest forms of theater. And back, as a great example, when Dell was working hard on this stuff, and even when most of us were of a nicer, younger, earlier improv age, this was a toolkit in general. The performance aspect was less exciting and less accessible. In general, the improv was a toolkit to make you a better stage actor or better screen actor. But obviously the other stuff existed as well. The question I have is, how has that changed now that improv has become more popular? Where do you see it in ways you never would have expected to find it?
So
and,
this
Kristen,
this is a big, interesting question for me right now, because a lot of times I feel like, and forgive me for just saying it, like in like a capitalist structure, we're very product oriented, right? So a lot of times when I see people in a level 1 class, they're like, how do I get there? How am I funny now? What can I do? And I really have begun to appreciate improv as a process. And that's where I think all sorts of people can jump in and engage without the pressure of produce, right? And it's valuable as a process in and of itself. And so it doesn't have to be for someone who wants to ultimately end up on stage. It's valuable for people from all sorts of perspectives and all sorts of applications. And it does make a good product. It is an art form. We can pursue excellence. We can create an incredible show through improv, but it as a process is also really valuable.
Nice. We'll move to Patrick.
It's also life skills. I mean, my children are 23 and 20, and I will tell you, I would not have been anywhere near as decent a parent without improv. I just wouldn't have. It taught patience, the yes and part of it. If you made a promise, that's an offer, and you better deliver. Those things are really important. And when we do a lot of teaching in corporate settings and taking the improv skills, it's not to make them improv performers. It's to give them tools and skills that they can use to make their lives easier and the lives of the people around them better. And we get people coming back to us all the time saying that, that 3-hour workshop, that 2 days of workshop profoundly changed my life. It's really powerful stuff.
Nice. Dylan, yeah.
Yeah, and I just to kind of circle back to what Kristen was saying too about just this idea of the product, or the idea of how do I get on the stage? How do I get on TV? How do I get, I think that's something that I've always loved about Portland specifically. When I was coming up, I started in Chicago, and it's a very different mindset of like, what are you like? Really, it's like, well, okay, you're taking improv classes, but what are you going to do? Like, what's the goal? What's the final destination? And here in Portland, it is very much more process based. I feel like, yes, we all want to make people laugh, or if you're doing comedy, because there's lots of different types of improv, but if you're doing improv comedy, I think part of that here is that you're doing it on top of what else you do with your life. So it's not this pressure of I need to be a writer, or I need to be a star. It's like, this enriches my life. This makes me happy. I'm compelled to do this, and I enjoy doing it. It's not like it's not like a step necessarily leading anywhere but personal enjoyment.
Awesome. Beautifully said.
I think for me, this connects a little bit to the first question that we were talking about, which, because there's two sides of my brain when it comes to this art form. There's the side of what I like, what feels good, what I like doing, and then there's the performer side of me, the actor, and I have that background prior to doing it. Well, they build together, but so when I'm on a Zoom performance, I've tapped into this sort of like, this is a product vibe, which affects some of the what feels good to me thing. I've always been drawn to the training exercises above performance experience, like always. I could easily spend 2 hours just playing things that have silly names like Zip Zap Zap and Soundball and Alien Greeting, and I mean, that's where I feel the greatest joy, is just taking the leash off of what is cool and acceptable and effective and really awesome, and being able to be like, like that. That's
in
where
fairness, we do that in the car all the time. We play these games.
Yeah, 100%. So I even have this like allergic reaction, kind of, Kristen, to your point around this idea of like a product that we put out, and the irony of the allergic reaction is I work in the corporate setting a lot doing training, but I have this allergic reaction when people tell me things like, I learned yes and we are now yes anding at all of our meetings. I'm like, I don't know. Is that the best choice? I don't know.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to lead on to this next question, which I want for everyone to have an answer on. And it's this. Del was a great example of a whip cracker, as it were, when it comes to directing. He wanted a very specific outcome at certain times. He would crack that whip if you did it wrong. He would make you suffer on stage. He would embarrass you, and he would make sure you did it right. And there are a lot of improviser educators and directors, and not just improvisers, but scripted and screen directors who are the exact same way. And at that time, improv was also very limited. It was a very isolated thing. Since improvised theater as a whole, and I should say improv as a whole, because I shouldn't say theater, it has grown, and I know that there are multiple audiences. When I teach improv for an educator or a scientist, they're two very different people. When I teach improv for an 8-year-old student, they're going to have a different outcome and a different focus. I know that's going to be the case, but my question is, in a general sense, for you now to look at yourself when you were that student, you were the 101, you just dipped your toes into improv. What is that thing that you know now other educators are doing that you wish you could just maybe slightly turn a switch on? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying no, stop teaching it like this. But my question is, what could you modify slightly that you think would be just that increase in value as far as improv or storytelling that you could tell your younger self? And I would love to hear from every single person.
I'm going to start because I'm very eager to start. Because I wish so deeply that people directed more like Viola Spolin and less like Del Close.
And Viola is one of the other founding, I shouldn't say founding fathers, founding people of modern improvisational theater.
Founding mothers. She predates Del Close by a generation or two. But at least a generation. But Viola Spolin would give direction, not to necessarily anyone in specific. She would just shout the direction out in a broad, and then you had to interpret whether or not that was about you or not, and
use make your voice.
Choices. Right. Yeah. So to me, I wish there was more of that sort of like. Direct, like as a teacher in the moment, in the scene, giving that piece of direction. Make a choice, say I love you and fill in the blank and somebody's going to do it, and less of the thing where teachers watch a whole scene and then afterwards they're like, okay, I took some notes. Next time you're in a scene where you're at a garbage dump, here are 7 things you could have done differently. It's like this scene theoretically is never happening again. So you're getting really specific about how you could have played a better garbage dump guy, or how the garbage dump could have been funnier. I wish people would let go of that, because to me that is, again, to Kristen's point, very product oriented. And I want improv to be this. I want everyone to get that feeling of being on the bicycle with the wind on your hair.
Awesome. Who else? Who's got? Like I said, I'd love to hear from everyone in this one. Let's go, Leanne, and then we'll hit Dylan next.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of. I've got oh no, there's a fly. That's frightening. It's gonna land. I just wanted to kind of bounce off of what Aden just said, because I at times found myself, and this is not necessarily early on. I just mean kind of throughout the process, feeling kind of immobilized by trying to make a decision and feeling immobilized because I was so wrapped up in, is this the right decision? Is this the decision the teacher wants me to make? And then being in classes where at times as Aden pointed out, the instructor would replay it, like, well, and they would just act it out again. It's like, well, if you want to act out again, why don't you just go up on stage and then do it? Because, so that whole idea of, certainly there are some choices that are not the best choices, that to have faith in the individual, in their life experience, that they are picking the best choice for them at the moment. And in that, I think also I have found that when instructors focus on enhancing or helping the student bring their life experience to the stage, that takes off so much pressure, because you don't have to invent it, you discover it, right? And it's all here in us, it's in each of us. We have the life, we have the lived experience. Let's just bring that out, because it might be really dramatic, it might be really funny, and it is what it is. And I just wish there'd been a little more, it is what it is, right? And nice. We're in this together. So
love that. We're going to Dylan. And then, we'll get someone else next.
Awesome. I mean, I think this is actually kind of a nuanced question, because I think that there is what would you say needs to get adjusted in teaching improv is kind of the gist of it. And I think it's also so dependent on your goals as a performer and as a theater. And to me, one big thing I make a separation between is there's stuff that is super fun for me as a performer that is not fun for the audience. I think that that's a really important thing to acknowledge. And I think that sometimes it's not clear what your instructor is trying to help push you towards, self-discovery or, creating something effective. Effective comedy and comedy that maximizes potential fun in the scene. And so I think there's the mechanics and the tools, and then there's which I think are really important to learn at whatever style and whatever theater you're at. And there's no right way to do improv, obviously, but it's good to know all these different things so that you can decide how you like to improvise. And it's really hard to say I don't like this if you've never learned it, or you don't, it's really a complicated process. So I think for me, what that brought up that question, which obviously I'm a little bit passionate about, is just this idea of that certain types of performance are more fun and are super fun for the performers, but aren't fun for the audience. And so just like thinking about if you're doing a show and what you're creating, like be really intentional about like what did you promise your audience and what do you want to deliver to them. And I know that this is kind of now in product land, but I think that's important.
Love it. Let's go to Kristen, then Patrick.
I just want to say in terms of teaching styles, right? I really would like it to change, that teachers are super dress you down aggressive, and because this is a collaborative art form, right? We improvise with, we don't improvise at. We learn with our students, we don't teach at, right? So if you're coming into the space thinking you've got it all figured out and you're just here to tell everybody how to do it, you're getting it wrong. We are here to test what we know and explore what we know with students who often will bring brand new proposals into the space that change the game for everybody in that moment. There's no gatekeepers in this shit. Apologies. There needs to be less gatekeepers in this shit. Everybody get in here, and that's all I gotta say.
I love it.
Amen, sister.
Yeah, we'll do Patrick, and then let's get Betsy, and then Bo, and then Landy. We'll play order.
Yes to all the above, and one of the things I'd like all teachers to know, inside improv and outside of improv, and to internalize, is that as a teacher, your success might not look like your student's success, and their success might not look like your success. Everybody's journey is different.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So true.
And I'll just add to that, because that is, I mean, everybody is, preaching. It's like, yes, yes, yes. But it's also coming in from a student perspective of knowing, like from a teacher perspective, I want you to understand, like Dylan said, what are your goals? Like understanding each individual so that you can work collaboratively, so that you can make it fun for everybody, right? I've had experiences where it's just like, this is what I'm doing, right? You need to fit into my mold as a teacher. And it's like, I look at it as every class I teach is always different. And I'm going to change because what is needed, right? That's the ones that I felt most successful in, is that they weren't following a template. They were like, here's my template, but I need to go beyond this because I recognize things are feeling weird or they're feeling awesome. And I want to continue to follow that because everybody's having fun. So, I mean, it's improv, right? So having that same style of improv, right, in terms of your teaching, as well as versus regimented and super structured, because it's hard to break the rules. But somebody said a long time ago, I revised it, but the rules are made for the guidance of beginners. We have that structure, and then once we know those rules, let's break them. Right. And improv just speaks volumes to that. That's why I got into it. It's like, yes, let's break it and have fun. And we're doing it when we do it together, then it's beautiful. It's a beautiful journey.
I love it. Bo, let's go to you, then Landy.
Sure. I think as a younger student of improv, I wish I was side coached more. I think we all know, even the audience, like when a scene is not clicking and it just keeps going. Like in a class format, I would have loved it if I was side coached more, meaning that the teacher would kind of speak from the sidelines like a basketball coach or something. But it's all in how you package it too. So on stage, I try to use the mantra, if you shine, I shine, making that other player look good, then you look good. And in that side coaching element, if the director or teacher would have a similar mantra, then you get the note, you adjust, and the teacher looks good as well at the same time, as opposed to barking at what's wrong. So
love it. Landy.
God, this is honestly a hard question for me to answer. I come from a very different perspective and a different experience from all of these other fine folks here that like, I'm not an instructor in improv. I've not had a lot of improv training, like specifically. I just kind of jumped in feet first way back when for the sole purpose of improving my acting skills because I was an actress and that was what I was going to do. But then I couldn't get cast in anything, so I went into the improv world. And so really, I think for me, the thing that I wish I had been told sooner, I think in improv, as a young woman at a community college taking 101 is that like this, what you're learning here isn't all that improv is. And that there's so much more to be discovered out there. Cause I don't play games. I don't know how to play improv games. That's not my skill set, but I was learning that and I got frustrated. And so I almost left. But I found out there was so much more. And now I'm in it. I'm in my shit all the time.
What about you?
You know, I think I mentioned it briefly, whether it was heard or not, depending on sound quality. It's about the freedom to say no. I think that there's this badge with yes or yes and on improv, and it's been around for a long time. And the reality that freedom to know that yes isn't a concrete thing you have to say. And it's not about your content, it's about the journey in that sense. The yes is about moving forward versus about saying yes. And I think if when I was younger, if I was okay with that, I would have had a lot more adventurous journeys as an improviser. And I also know that people I worked with would have had a better time. They wouldn't have felt forced to create specific content or say yes in a scene that put them as an actor in a uncomfortable position. So I would say if I could throw one thing out there, it would be that. It would be to have a little more flexibility on what yes actually means as opposed to the literal sense. That being said, yes to all of you. I'm so amazingly gratified. Grateful is the word I was going for there. I'm gratified too. Why not? I'll go to the Virgin Islands later and check it out. Hugely grateful to every single one of you performing. If any of you get a chance, check out Curious Comedy, Kickstand Comedy, Bridge City Improv, Funhouse Lounge, Comedy Sports Portland, Deep End Theater. We're Infinite Improv. We're at Improv Theater. And in fact, I think this is the year we turn 20 years old as a company, which is impressive. It might be next year. I'm not sure.
What is time?
I know. Go figure. Because that makes me feel old. I think one of the best things about all this stuff that we are doing is the fact that this is a thing where we are flexible and we are up for the challenge and we're ready to take on new challenges. And this year has been a great example of how well we can do that. Not just in the performance sense, but in life in general, how we've all had to change everything about our lives. So a huge thank you to everyone watching tonight. Please check out all the other films, especially For Madmen Only at cinemaunbound.org. It's part of the Portland International Film Festival. Check out any of these theaters, or the tag's been at the bottom this whole time. You can always find us on social media, and we can connect you to any of these places as well. There's classes, there's shows, there's corporate work, there's pretty much unlimited possibilities. So once again, a huge thank you to everyone at home watching or wherever you are. A huge thank you to every single one of you for playing tonight. I loved it. I hope you had a whole lot of fun. Be great to everybody, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you. And now